What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home? A very good evening to and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Sandor Ferdinando.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara.
For 42 years, the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation or the national television has illuminated Sri Lankan television screens, bringing stories, laughter and shared experiences to the heart of Sri Lankan life.
On this momentous anniversary, we offer our warmest congratulations to the dedicated team behind this pioneering institution. Now with that, let's have a look at your headlines for tonight.
US urges President to address Online Safety Act concerns. President says he had to plead from the international community for the sake of children's futures. Health sector trade unions decide to temporarily call off their strike. India is different and we too are different. Anura Kumara speaks out. Opposition leader and plantation political parties reach pact to secure the futures of plantation workers. Partly brings unveiling the common minimum plan to resurrect the nation. Legal action against decision taken by the Constitutional Council. Application filed with Supreme Court.
USAID Administrator Samantha Power encouraged President Ranil Wickremesinghe to address concerns about the political impact of the Online Safety Act on freedom of expression. She expressed these views during a virtual meeting with the President.
USAID Administrator Samantha Power has spoken with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe, focusing on economic reform, democratic governance and online freedom. According to an official statement by USAID, the conversation delved into the importance of upholding democratic values, including a consultative legislative process and respect for freedom of expression and association. Moreover, international media reported that Sri Lanka would amend its strict new internet censorship law after opposition from global tech giants who risked criminal prosecutions for content shared on social media. The law, as passed, makes social media companies liable for any content posted on their platforms deemed offensive by Sri Lankan authorities. A coalition of international tech companies warned Colombo last month the legislation was, quote, unworkable, unquote, and that they would not cooperate with local authorities to implement it. The Cabinet of Ministers considered a proposal on the 13th of February 2024 to amend the recently passed Act on Online Safety. While approved by the Parliament and signed by the Speaker, concerns surrounding the Act have been raised by various stakeholders. Notably, the Asia Internet Coalition and other international voices expressed concerns about potential shortcomings within the initial draft. While acknowledged, these concerns were slated for post-enactment review by the ruling party. Furthermore, opposition parties and the Human Rights Commission noted the apparent omission of key considerations raised by the Supreme Court during deliberations regarding the original draft. Given these ongoing discussions and the fact that the relevant commission has yet to be established, the proposed amendments within just 2 weeks of the Act's passage has raised concerns. State Minister for Media Shantha Bandara announced yesterday that the Broadcasting Regulatory Commission Bill and the National Media Policy are forthcoming. This announcement was met with scepticism from opposition MP Dr. Harsha De Silva of Samagi Jana Balawegaya, who questioned the government's intentions regarding potential restrictions on online media and electronic media in general.
කතානායකවරයා අසයින් කරයින් පස්සේ කිසි කෙනෙක්ට නැවතත් කරපු දේ වැරදි මේ නීති.
There is no possibility of going to court saying that they have not done what was said by the Supreme Court after the Speaker has signed it. Now we hear that amendments have been brought in the Cabinet on Monday. We all know that they are bringing the Online Safety Act to suppress social media. Now, State Minister Shantha Bandara has said that they will bring the Broadcast Authority Bill to the Parliament as well. We all thought that they will not bring it. By bringing the Online Safety Bill, they will control the websites, and by bringing the Broadcast Bill, they will give authority to a group to decide whether to award a television license once a year. If that happens, we will be moving to a very dark place. They are talking about a referendum. If anyone has doubts about the results of the referendum, they can go to the Supreme Court. Then the Supreme Court case will be delayed even more. What will happen after that?
හරි එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? පරිසරය සූදානම් වෙමින් පවතිනවා මැච් එක ගහන්න. දැන් පිච් එක සෙට් කරනවා මැච් එක ගහන්න.
Member of Parliament Dala Salaha Peruma had called the media briefing today as well.
Culture of postponing elections, citing lack of funds, is a disgusting practice introduced to the world by the incumbent president and government. The local government polls were postponed through this claim. The same formula can be applied to other elections as well. During this period alone, the president has engaged in 22 overseas tours. How many MPs and ministers have accompanied him? Those tours have cost more than the election. This is a severe situation. No one can fiddle with the people's sovereignty. We call for democracy very affectionately on this Valentine's Day.
ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයට ඉතාම ආදරණීයව මේ ඉල්ලීම කරන්නේ වැලන්ටයින් ඩේ එක දවසේ.
ජනාධිපතිවරණයකට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම එන මාතෘකාව කරගිට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේ ජනාධිපති ක්‍රමය අහෝසි කිරීම පිළිබඳව. මොකද්ද ඔබතුමාගේ ස්ථාවරය?
මේ ආණ්ඩුව මේක
My first question is, if the government is taking this decision with a genuine intention, the president has presented 3 policy statements to this parliament. Was this matter mentioned on either one of those? No. If so, why has it suddenly gained importance? This is a disingenuous proposal. This is an attempt to create a discourse in society to avoid elections. It cannot be done. We cannot allow room for the government to take any sort of shortcut.
ආණ්ඩුවට කිසි ලෙසක වංගු ගහන්න ඉඩ තියන්න එපා.
Is it going to be a presidential election, a general election or a referendum? Or will there be an election at all? The Presidential Commission of Inquiry, tasked with investigating and recommending reforms to the Sri Lankan electoral system and political parties, continues its work under the chairmanship of former Chief Justice Priyasad Dep. Commission Secretary Madhava Deva Surendra said the Presidential Commission of Inquiry is conducting a thorough review of electoral systems in various democracies, including India, Singapore, Canada, Britain, Switzerland and Estonia. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry plans to hold several discussions with the representatives of several organizations, including the People's Movement for a Just Society, which submitted the relevant proposals. Deva Surendra confirmed the Commission's commitment to deliver an interim report to the President before the April 15th deadline, presenting preliminary recommendations for electoral system adjustments.
The left centre expressed these views during a press conference.
Vikramasinghe Rajapaksa junta.
Many Trojan horses are ready to carry the caskets of the Vikramasinghe Rajapaksa junta. They have many masks on. They are afraid of elections. They are trying to cancel or postpone elections. That is what they are trying to do. There is a serious conspiracy to take away the right to vote. They use different tactics and come with many faces. One such person is Chandrika Kumaratunga and the other is former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. The tactic is to abolish executive presidency. If they drag this on, Ranil Wickremesinghe can carry forward the junta till the 2025 general election. Don't expect elections in 2025. If this election is cancelled, that is the end of elections. They have formed the necessary battalions and they are trying to suppress the people. The Online Safety Act was passed and they are bringing in laws to silence social media and the media. Don't think you can deceive the people. This is a cursed junta. The people are ready for that challenge. We will not let this go.
සජනතාව ලෑස්ති ඒ අභියෝගයට සටනට. අපි මේක අත්තරින්නේ නැහැ.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says he had to beg before the international community for the sake of the children's future. Now, these remarks were made during President Wickremesinghe's participation in the national program of distributing free school textbooks and uniforms.
We are in a bankrupt state today. I'm trying to build a strong economy so it won't happen again in your future. We had to ask other countries for funds for this purpose. I had to beg for the sake of your future. We have to repay all debt from the loans we obtained. We've been told to repay only the interest and not the loan these days. It will take 15 to 20 years to repay the debt, and for that, we must build a strong economy. We must transform the economy to a competitive economy. We don't receive sufficient foreign exchange. Likewise, we always have a deficit by the end of the year. Furthermore, we must join the world market and increase exports. Not only that, but we are located near India and there will be rapid development in India over the next 20 years. Their GDP will increase by 8-fold. If we are to join them, ours should increase by at least 6-fold. You have a good time and a good economy. We should begin to create it now. I will bring the new laws for this, especially the law to transform the economy. That is how we will move forward. Honorable Kumar Dissanayake, leader of the Jatika Jana Balawegya, articulated that the primary concern raised during his visit to India pertained to the utilization of Sri Lankan territory in a manner that could potentially impact India's national security. A clarification was provided by Dissanayake during an exclusive interview with Newsfirst.
ඉන්දියානු රජය මනින් ලැබුවේ මනින් ඇත්තේ අර සාම්ප්‍රදායික බලය නෙවෙයි සැබෑ මහ පොළොවේ යථාර්ථවාදී ලෙස ගොඩනැගෙමින් තිබෙන බලය කුමක්ද කියන සාධක හේතු වෙන්නේ නැති අපිට මේ ආරාධනය ලබා දෙන්න කියලා මම හිතනවා. ඔවුන් නිරන්තරයෙන් අපේක්ෂා කරනවා ඔවුන් භූදේශපාලන තරඟකරුවෙක් බවට පත් වෙනකොට ලංකාවේ භූමිය ඔවුන්ට එරෙහිව බල කඳුරක වමනාවන් සඳහා උපයෝගී නොවේ කියන බලාපොරොත්තුවක් ඔවුන් තුළ තිබෙනවා. ඒක සාධාරණ බලාපොරොත්තුවක්. ඒක තමයි මට හිතෙනවා මේ සංචාරයේ හරයාත්මක හරේ තිබුණේ එතන කියන එක තමයි අපිට දැනුනේ. ඇයි අපිව ඒ සාකච්ඡා කිරීම සඳහා ඇයි අපිව උවමනා වෙන්නේ? ඉතින් මම හිතනවා ඉන්දියාව අපේ රටේ සමීප දේශපාලන ක්‍රියාකාරකම් අධ්‍යයනය කරන රටක්. ඔබ දන්නවා සමහර තොරතුරු ලංකාවටත් වඩා කලින් ඉන්දියාවට sannivedana වෙන රාජ්‍යයක් මේක. ඒ වගේම අපේ රටේ අනාගතයේ දේශපාලන පිළිබඳව ඉන්දියාව අපේක්ෂාවන් සහ බලාපොරොත්තුන් තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා වුන් විශ්වාස උන්ට දැනෙන්නේ නැති අනාගතයේ කවර දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරයක් එක්ක ශ්‍රී ලංකාව ඉදිරියට ගමන් කරයිද කියන සාධකය වැදගත් සාධකයක් ලෙස කල්පනා කරන්න.
ඕනේ පණවිඩය ඔබට sannivedanaya කළාද?
මම හිතන්නේ ඇරයුමේම ඒක නේද තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි වගේ දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරයකට ආරාධනය තුලම තිබෙන්නේ මම හිතනවා තේ හැඟවුම කියලා.
ඇරයුම පිළිගැනීම තුල තියෙන පණවිඩය මොකක්ද?
අපි සූදානම් කෙනෙක්. ඒ කියන්නේ
ඉන්දියාවත් එක්ක ගනුදෙනුවට.
අපි ආන්තික දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරයක් නොවේ. අපි මේ රටේ අභිලාෂයන් ජනතාවගේ අභිලාෂයන් ඉදිරියට ගෙනෙමින් එය ආරක්ෂා කරමින් ඕනෑම රාජ්‍යයක් එක්ක පැකිලීමකින් තොරව ගනුදෙනු කරන සූදානම් ව්‍යාපාරයක්.
ඉන්දියාවගේ ප්‍රබල රටක් මම නැවත කියන්නේ. ඔවුන් ආරාධනා කරලා ඔබට එන්න කියලා ඔබ කියන දෙයට එකඟ වෙයිද? ඔවුන් කියන දේ පැත්තකින් තියලා.
නෑ ඔවුන්ට ඔවුන්ගේම දේශපාලන ආර්ථික න්‍යාය පත්‍රයක් තිබෙනවා. ලංකාව පිළිබඳව
ඔබට යමක් කියන්න නැති නේ සාකච්ඡාවේ.
එහෙම න්‍යාය පත්‍රයක් උන්ට තිබෙනවා. සහ ඉන්දියාව සහ අපි අතර දීර්ඝකාලීන ගැටුමක් තිබුණා. මේක ඉතිහාසයේ. ඒ යුගයේ ලෝක දේශපාලනය වෙනස්. වර්තමානයේ ලෝකයේ වෙනස් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ ලෝකයේ වෙනස් වීමට අනුරූපී වන පරිදි අපිද වෙනස් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ විදේශ අමාත්‍යවරයා කිව්වා ඔවුන්ද වෙනස් වී තිබෙන බව. අපි කිව්වම ලෝකයත් වෙනස් වෙලා අපිත් වෙනස් වෙලා ඕකෙන ඔවුන්ත් වෙනස් වෙලා. ඉතින් අපි බලමු භාවිතාවෙන් අනාගතයෙන් කොහොමද වෙනස් වීම මොන දිශාවටද අපි මොන දිශාවටද කියන එක අපි වෘතව කියලා තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ අපිට සංගවා කතා කළ යුතු කරුණු තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඔවුන්ගේ පැත්තෙන් වැඩිම අවධානය යොමු කරේ ඔවුන්ගේ ජාතික ආරක්ෂාව පිළිබඳව තර්ජනයකට ශ්‍රී ලංකා භූමිය උපයෝගී වේවිද කියන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි ඔවුන් වැඩිපුර සාධකයට සැලකිලි භාජනය කරේ.
ඉන්දියාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් ජාතික ජනබලවේගයේ නෙමේ ජවිපේ හිටිය මතය වෙනස් වෙන්න ගන්නේ කොතනද?
ඇත්තටම ගත්තොත් මම දැක්කා ඔය ඉන්දියානු ව්‍යාප්තවාදය කියලා පන්තියක්. ඇත්තටම මම 1987 අගභාගයේ තමයි මේ පක්ෂ සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ. මම මූලික පන්ති පහ කරා.
ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණ.
ඔව්. එතකොට මේ පන්තිය තිබුණේ නැහැ.
87 පන්තිය තිබුණේ නැහැ.
මම ඉගෙන ගත්ත පන්ති පහ මම කියන්නම්. ආර්ථික අර්බුදය, මෙන්සිව් ව්‍යාපාරය, ගැටලුව සමාජවාදී මොකද්ද සමාජවාදී ඒ කියන්නේ ජාත්‍යන්තර අධ්‍යක්ීම් සමාජවාදී කඳවුරු වල ජාත්‍යන්තර අධ්‍යක්ීම් පහ පක්ෂ ඉතිහාස බොල්ෂෙවික් පක්ෂය. මේක තමයි මූලික පන්ති පහ තිබුණේ.
ඉන්දියානු ව්‍යාප්තවාදය ඔබ ඉගෙන ගත්ත පන්ති පහ ඇතුලේ නැහැ.
නමුත් 1987 දී අපේ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය ඉන්දියානු පෙරේ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වයක් තිබුණා. පළවෙනි එක අපි මූලධර්මයක් ලෙස අපේ රටේ කිරි ශේස්ත්‍රය අපේ ස්වාධිපත්‍ය ආරක්ෂා කරගත යුතු ස්ථාවරයක් අපි ඉන්නවා. සාමේ ක්‍රියාවලිය කිසිසේත්ම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉදිරිපත් කළ නැති එකඟතාවයක් නැති ක්‍රියාවලියක්. ඒ නිසා මේ ක්‍රියාවලට විරුද්ධයි කියන ප්‍රකාශ අපි කිව්වා. හැබැයි මම මෙන්න මෙහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන. අපේ රටේ ගිය අවුරුදු 2022 අවුරුද්දේ කිරිසා ක්‍රියාසිත නිෂ්පාදන ආනයනය කිරීම සඳහා ඩොලර් බිලියන 222ක් වැය වෙලා තියෙනවා. ලොකු මුදලක්. ඩොලර් බිලියන 222ක්. අපේ රටේ ක්‍රියාවචතාවෙන් තමත් අපි දේශීය නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්නේ 35%යි. කිරිසා ක්‍රියාසිත නිෂ්පාදනය 65%ක් අපි පිටරටින් ආනයනය කරනවා. ඒ නිසා මේක වර්ධනය කරගන්න ඕන. වර්ධනය කරගන්න නව තාක්ෂණයක් අපිට අවශ්‍යයි. ඒ නිසා අපි කිව්වා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ තාක්ෂණ සහාය අපිට දෙන්න අපි ඒකට කැමතියි. හැබැයි මේක
ඒ කියන්නේ අමුල් සමාගම එනවට අකමැත්තක් නැහැ.
එකඟ නැහැ කිව්වා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ තාක්ෂණ දෙන්න අපිට අපි අතර
සමාගම එනවට එකඟ නැහැ.
සමාගම නැහැ එකඟ නැහැ කියන ප්‍රකාශන පත්‍රය. ඊට පස්සේ ඕන් කියපු දේ තමයි නෑ අපි මුළුමනින්ම මේ ඉල්ලුවේ නැහැ. අපි ඉස්සලම කිව්වා පොළොන්නරුව ෆාම් එක අපිට දෙන්න කියලා. අපිට මේ අමුල් එක මේ වැඩ කරන්න. ඕන් කිව්වා පොළොන්නරුවේ සමාගම දුන්නේ නැහැ කිව්වා. ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලෝ 5ක් කිල්ලුවා 10ක් කිල්ලුවා කිව්වා. ආණ්ඩුවක ඔක්කොම ගන්න කියලා. හරිද? ආණ්ඩුවක ඔක්කොම ගන්න කියලා 31ම ෆාම් 31 අක්කර 20ට දායි. එහෙනම් අපි ඕ ක්‍රියාවලිය තමයි අපි විරුද්ධයි. ඕ ක්‍රියාවලියට විරුද්ධ එක. ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් ලෙස අපේ රටේ දේශීය කිරි නිෂ්පාදනය ආරක්ෂා කරගනිමින් ඒ වර්ධනය කිරීමට අපි පක්ෂපාතී. ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් ලෙස ඕගොල්ලෝ අපේ රටේ කිරි කර්මාන්තය අත්පත් කරගන්න එකටත් අපේ මේ ක්‍රියාවලිය සම්පූර්ණ අපි එකඟ නැහැ කියලා කිව්වා.
The United Republic Front presented its new program, unveiling the common minimum plan to resurrect the nation in Colombo. The event, graced by party leader Partili Champika Ranawaka, was themed A Step Forward with Unity for Our Nation. Political party representatives and activists were among those present.
පළවෙනි විකල්පය මේ දැනට ජාත්‍යන්තර මූලාරම මුදල විසින් අපිට ලබා දීලා තියෙන මූලික රාමුව.
The first alternative is that the preliminary frame presented by the IMF must be taken forward. In addition, these agencies have also introduced 16 principles with regard to good governance. That is the second alternative. The third will be to do away with the IMF and explore a domestic solution, and this is being discussed. We propose that the IMF program, along with the principles, must be amended in a suitable manner, as some of the targets given by the IMF are difficult to achieve. A primary concern is the absence of alternatives to what is proposed. We propose to bring retail and wholesale trading onto an electronic platform. The payment interface was introduced in the country. We have Lanka Pay. That platform can be easily spread across the country without increasing tax. We can nab around 1 million of those who engage in trading without being subject to tax.
මේ බදු දැලට නතු කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
Leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, inked an agreement today providing assurances to uphold the rights of Sri Lanka's upcountry and lowland plantation communities in the presence of many political parties and representatives of the estate sector. The event took place at the party head office of the Samagi Jana Balawegya. The agreement was penned by leader of the party, Sajith Premadasa, on behalf of the SJB, Mano Ganesan, representing the Tamil Progressive Alliance, leader of the National Labour Front, Palani Digambaram, leader of the Kandurata Janata Peramuna, V. Radhakrishnan, Kegal District SJB MP, Sujit Sanjay Pereira, Kandy District SJB MP, M. Velukumar, and Nuwara Elia District SJB MP, M. Udayakumar. We all know that hundreds of thousands of plantation communities make a huge contribution to the country's livelihood. We do not intend to keep them in the position of labourers forever, but we intend to give them the right to their own estate, the right to their own house, and also we intend to create a great opportunity to act as entrepreneurs in the estates. Today we entered into an agreement to strengthen these hundreds of thousands of plantation workers with proper time frames that are not simply limited to words. From the first day of the establishment of our government, we hope not to discuss all these matters, but to make this agreement a reality.
SLFP chairman, former President Maithripala Sirisena arrived in Washington from India on an Air India flight last morning. Upon his arrival, the officials of the Sri Lankan Embassy in the United States of America received the former president at the airport. The former president's office said he would be participating in many key discussions over the next few days during his stay. Former President Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga in a statement says she has not reached a decision to take up the leadership of Podujana Eksat Peramuna. The former president also denied media reports suggesting her endorsement of specific candidates in the upcoming election. Former Governor Maithri Gunaratna also expressed his views today.
This is not something we should be surprised. It is usually what Ranil Wickremesinghe does. When he amended the constitution in the United National Party, he added other things instead of what was proposed. The same thing has happened to this bill as well.
Registrar of the Askini chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Mathagama Dhammananda Thero, says the Mahanayakas of the three sects are displeased of the sale of national assets. This was revealed when Member of Parliament Imtiaz Bakir Maka called on the Thero earlier today.
ඒ දවස්වල රටේ හුඟක් ප්‍රශ්නකින් රටේ මිනිස්සු ජීවත් වීමේ අරගලේ තියනකොට ඇත්තටේ යම් යම් මනපනත් වෙනුත් විශේෂයෙන් මේ මහානායක හාමුදුරුවෝ කියලා සෛනිකයිත් මහානායක හාමුදුරුවෝ සම්බන්ධ වෙලා ඒ බලවත් විරෝධය දක්වන්න අපි සූදානම් වෙලා සිටිනවා මේ ටෙලිකොම් මොනිටර් ආයතන විදේශීය ආයතන විකිණීම පිළිබඳව තවසේ රටේ රාජ්‍ය ආරක්ෂාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් දෙන විදුලිය වගේ දේවල් පෞද්ගලිකරණය කිරීම තුළින් විශේෂයෙන් විදේශීය ආයතන වල ලබා දීම තුළින් විශාල හානියක් සිද්ධ අපිට හොඳට පේනවා. ගාසාතීරේ ඒ අරගලේ වෙලාවේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් විදුලි බලය සහ ජලය කප්පාර කපලෙම ඊශ්‍රායලයේ කලේකනේ අපිට අත්‍යවශ්‍ය දේවල් අත්‍යවශ්‍ය මොන පාඩුවෙන්ද රජයේ සතුව තියෙන්න ඕන.
ප්‍රතිපත්ති වශයෙන් ගත්තොත් ආර්ථික ප්‍රතිපත්ති ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නේ මේ විදේශ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය මේ හැම දෙයකම කිසිම ස්ථාවර බවක් පැහැදිලි බවක් නැහැ.
රෂ්‍යාවේ අයිතිවාසිකම ඡන්ද බලය කියන ඒ ඇයට ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී භාවිතා කිරීමේ විශාල සීමාවට අවස්ථාව සලසලා දෙන්න ඕනේ. තානුකූලව ඉන්දියානු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි අවශ්‍ය කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එකට මතවාදයක් ආයෙත් නැගෙමින් පවතිනවා. ජනාධිපතිවරණයක් ඉදිරියට ආසන්නව තියෙද්දී එවැනි කතා බහලක් කිරීමේ සුදුසු දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. මොන වශයෙන් බැලුවොත් දැන් කාලයක් චීනයට නැතුව ගියා. දැන් සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ඉන්දියාවේ ප්‍රාන්තයක් බවට පත් වෙලා යනවා.
A signature campaign took place at noon against the attempted sale of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. SLRC employees and artists, among others, were present for the campaign. They also performed a street play to express their protest.
Newsfirst with the people.
The ambassador of Japan to Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka's finance secretaries signed an exchange of note for providing over 551 million Sri Lankan rupees in order to improve power supply vulnerability at hospitals. This grant aims to reduce carbon footprint and ease the financial burden on energy costs at Sri Jayawardhanapura General Hospital, Teaching Hospital Ratnapura and Teaching Hospital Kurunegala. The USDA, or the United States Department of Agriculture, committed $32.5 million to provide nutrition to nearly 200,000 students in Sri Lanka.
The national launch event of the Save the Children Foundation's Child Nutrition Project, funded by the USDA, was held in Colombo yesterday. US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chang, announced that $32.5 million was committed by the USDA to provide nutrition to nearly 200,000 students in Sri Lanka for the next 5 years.
And this time, we actually added the urban poor children as well, because we noticed that it's not just the rural areas, it's the urban areas also who have had these challenges. Now, I had a chance to visit some of the schools this past year, and each visit was a meaningful reminder to me that the support that we provide today not only helps feed the children, but also helps them keep them in school and lays the foundation for future generations of Sri Lankans to realize their full potential. Doing so helps improve the country's social stability and drives innovation and economic growth through education. The U.S. stands as one of the largest assistance providers and partners to Sri Lanka in food security. But ultimately, ensuring a bright future for Sri Lanka's next generation is a task whose success depends on the current generation of leaders in Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka's food security should come from Sri Lanka's own ability to manage the challenges of today. And I know that there are still many uncertainties ahead. There's elections here, there's elections in my country as well. But regardless of politics, what's important is to not leave behind those who are the most vulnerable.
Minister of Education Dr. Susil Premajanta also commented on planned educational reforms.
We are planning to start a midday meal program from March. So our target is to provide midday meal for all students who are studying primary schools. The close upon 1.6 billion student population. And apart from that, we are in the process of transforming education, especially the general education. We are starting administrative reforms some around April, and pilot projects of curriculum development and introducing modules for students grade 1 and 6 will be started by National Institute of Education.
The latest commitment by the USDA will allow close to 20% of students in Sri Lanka to receive nutritious meals through the National School Meal Programme.
The 73rd anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force will move to Jaffna, and the main event will take place from the 6th of March to the 10th of March with an education and technology exhibition along with celebrations.
We also have organized humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations with the use of Indian Air Force helicopters and Sri Lanka Air Force helicopters. There will be some helicopters and some of the aircraft to which the students and the other people, the general public, can have the access to and go and see the technology by themselves. I myself have been to Jaffna and many other places in North, but some of the students in the school, they don't know that they can join the Sri Lanka Air Force. So I want to have a recruiting stall in Jaffna. So I have seen a huge potential in the people or the students in Jaffna. So we want this potential to be explored through the Air Force. So we look forward to develop the skills, education of our members in the Sri Lanka Air Force, and we want to develop and enhance the air power capabilities that we already have, and we look for the new acquisitions of the technology and also the aircraft fleet.
As Sri Lanka seeks to expand its trade and commerce horizons, officials from the Hambantota International Port Group have made a strategic visit to Thailand, rekindling a 5-year-old agreement with the Ports Authority of Thailand and Ranong Port.
Seeking to capitalize on Sri Lanka's growing trade ties with Thailand, officials from the Hambantota International Port Group recently visited the Ports Authority of Thailand and Ranong Port. The visit aimed to revive a 5-year-old agreement and explore new opportunities for collaboration. Johnson Liu, CEO of HIPG, said, "With growing international interest in the Sri Lankan economy, reconnecting with Thailand, especially Ranong Port, is crucial." Hambantota International Port Group has already begun reviving its MOU with Ports Authority of Thailand and plans to invite reciprocal visits from Thai authorities to explore business opportunities. Beyond government partnerships, the HIPG team met potential business partners and investors in Thailand and Singapore and engaged with the Thai Sri Lanka Chamber of Commerce, inviting members to explore investment opportunities at the port and industrial park. HIPG said the discussions with fleet management companies and ship owners focused on promoting HIP's ship supply and marine services. Marking a significant step towards increased trade and economic cooperation, Sri Lanka and Thailand signed the Sri Lanka-Thailand Free Trade Agreement in early February 2024. The Sri Lanka-Thailand FTA, which covers areas such as trade in goods, investment, customs procedures and intellectual property rights, is expected to benefit both countries. Thailand, Already Sri Lanka's 37th largest export destination with a GDP of $495 billion in 2022 is also one of the largest outward investors in ASEAN, having brought over $92 million to Sri Lanka since 2005. The agreement aims to triple the current bilateral trade value of $550 million to $1.5 billion within the next few years. In addition to the Sri Lanka-Thailand FTA, the two countries also signed a new bilateral air services agreement, facilitating more liberalized air travel between them. Further solidifying the partnership, the Gem and Jewellery Research and Training Institute of Sri Lanka and the Gem and Jewellery Institute of Thailand signed a memorandum of understanding to enhance collaboration in the gem and jewellery sector.
UK-based global technology solutions provider Platnet launched its new office in Colombo today, further expanding its already existing business in Sri Lanka.
The UK-based company, known for its ERP solutions, is to expand the operations in the island nation by planning to hire new employees over the next 2 years, significantly strengthening its global support team. Platnet, a partner for ERP customers worldwide, focuses on digital transformation with cutting-edge solutions tailored to meet today's evolving needs. CEO of Platnet, Chamara Arunoda, says that the company's move to a new office and recruitment of individuals in Sri Lanka were to ensure the commitment to offering solutions and services to their global customers.
Shakti Crown, Shakti TV and Shakti FM's latest innovative reality show that takes Sri Lankan voices to the international stage. The preliminary auditions for the Trincomalee district were held in the City Council Hall today.
Shakti Crown.
Shakti Crown is a unique venture, a collaboration between media powerhouses Stein Studios and M Entertainment, promising to be a game changer, propelling Sri Lankan singing stars above the age of 15 onto the international stage. People of various age groups participated in the Shakti Crown auditions held in Trincomalee today. Another phase of auditions of Shakti Crown will be held at the Vedanayagam Hall in Batiklo tomorrow. Auditions for Shakti Crown will be held in Kandy, Hatton, Marthale, Deniyaya, Bandarawela and the Ratmalana Stein Studios till the 20th of February.
Shakti Crown.
Drifting your attention to more headline-making news, health sector trade unions have decided to temporarily call off their strike at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, as the health secretary informed in writing that he would engage in discussions with trade unions.
Despite the issuance of a gazette notification declaring healthcare as an essential service, 72 trade unions engaged in their strike action today. Members of 72 trade unions engaged in the strike, calling for an allowance increase of 35,000 rupees, mirroring the additional benefit recently given to doctors. Hospitals affected include Colombo National Hospital, Kandy National Hospital, Kalubovla Teaching Hospital, Karapita Teaching Hospital and Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital.
දැන් ආවේ ඔය ස්වාට අද දිනක් දාගෙන මේ අප්‍රෝචෙන් කරන්න මිනිස්සු දුක් විඳිනවා අත්ත පාන්දර ඇවිල්ලා මොකද්ද අපි මේක ගන්න තීරණය එතරම් එපා වෙලා තියෙන උදේට එනවා සල්ලි පොලියට අරන් මේ ආවේ අපි ඒ තරම් අන්තසරණ
පාලකයෝ බලා ගන්න පාලකයින්ගේ වරදින්නේ ඒ සේරම වෙන්නේ ප්‍රණීතාව අසීරුතාවට පත් කරන්නේ පාලකයෝ තමයි ඊයත් අදින්න ගන්න මේ දෙකේ බණ්ඩ බස් එකේ යන්න තියෙනවා ඊයත් අදත්තාව කියන දේවල් ගන්න ඕනේ වැඩි ජීවනාව රුපියල් 2000ක් තියෙනවා ඊය මාසේ
අපේ ඉතින් බැලුවොත් නැත්තම් ස්ට්‍රයික් නේ මේවා කොයි වෙලෙත් ස්ට්‍රයික් අපිට ඉතින් බේත් තියාගන්න තියෙන්නේ මෙතන විතරයි මොකද අපිට තියෙන මිනිස්සු නෙවෙයි තියෙන මිනිස්සු නම් ගිහිල්ලා ප්‍රයිවට් ගිහිල්ලා කොහොම හරි බේත් ගන්න ලෙඩ්ඩු අපේට තියලා එයාලා ගෙල්ලින් දිනා ගන්න නේ හදන්නේ
වකුගඩු ක්ලිනික් එකකට ආවේ අපිට රිපෝට්ස් ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ බලන් ඉඳන් ගෙදර යන්න තමයි හදන්නේ මට මේක නම් ඉතින් සම්පූර්ණ අසාධාරණ වැඩක් ඉතින් අහිංසක දුප්පත් අපි තනවැටෙලින්නේ කරන්නම දෙයක් නැහැ ඉතින් බේතේ ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ
බස් එකටයි අරකට මේකටයි බීද මේ සල්ලිත් නැතේ දෙක වේල ගන්න මිනිස්සු එක වේලත් කන්න බැරි ඉන්නේද
5,623 documents and 900 gigabytes newly obtained information suggests that sensitive documents pertaining to drug trafficking and intellectual property vanished on the night of 9th of July 2021. Newsfirst delves into the ongoing investigation surrounding the National Drug Regulatory Authority's data deletion scandal in this special report.
On the 9th of July 2021, a total of 5,623 documents of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority were deleted from the government data system or the government cloud. The most serious concern is that data deletion took place against the backdrop which the registration of drugs and medical equipment as well as the renewal of licenses was only done online due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Presenting facts in court following an investigation, Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Apiris said that this is the result of a conspiracy by the drug mafia which imports drugs and medical equipment into Sri Lanka and earns money illegally. Who is the conspirator? While paying attention to this, we should be mindful of similar events in recent days. The NMRA commenced implementing the online system for approval of drug imports on the 11th of January 2019. Following its implementation, many serious allegations were raised against the NMRA. On the 19th of July 2019, the COPE report revealed that the NMRA has illegally issued waivers of registration letters on behalf of government and private entities. Waiver of registration letters are the opportunity to buy drugs from companies without registration under special permission for the needs of the country in an emergency such as a pandemic. Over the past few years, many substandard medicine were given to the people of this country using such documents. Deaths were reported in many parts of the island after administering the relevant medicine. According to the COPE report, the NMRA had issued 649 such letters in 2016, 655 letters in 2017, 553 in 2018, and 139 waiver of registration letters in the first 4 months of 2019 alone. The COPE report further says the waiver of registration letters were issued for 7 types of drugs on 19 instances. COPE had ordered to conduct a special investigation related to the 7 institutions that supplied the 7 types of drugs. The data deletion scam happened against such a backdrop. At the Colombo Magistrates Court, Senior Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Apiris pointed out that the racketeers used COVID-19 to their advantage while the pandemic was spreading in the country. Presenting facts in court, he said that the Computer Data Administration Officer, who was in charge of data systems operations, had deleted data for 7 hours and it was a part of an organized drug racket. It was also revealed in court that the deletion of this highly sensitive data was not an error but something that was done deliberately. Is this the first time? No. Before digitization, the NMRA files were transported and handed over to a private company for safe storage. According to audit reports, it was reported that some of those files were also destroyed in 2000. The reason stated was that the documents were damaged due to floods. A formal investigation was not conducted in this regard by 2022, and the highly sensitive documents were handed over to the relevant private company for safe storage. Who is behind the drug mafia that keeps deleting data and files?
In more news, the Ministry of Education had organized a special event today to appreciate the profound impact created through the LOLC Devisavia Social Upliftment Program. The event was held this morning, headed by the Ministry of Education, Dr. Susil Premajayantha. A contingent of top officials, representatives of the LOLC Group, including its CEO and Group Managing Director Kapila Jayawardena, Chief Operating Officer Kitsiri Gunawardena, Chief of Sales and Communications Susan Bandara. LOLC Devisavia, a program conducted by the LOLC Group, oversees the distribution of school books and other instruments to uplift the quality of education of school students across the island. LOLC Devisavia is scheduled to be carried out this year as well.
Justice for plantation workers. Old story, new story, same story.
For the plantation workers, the known devil is the collective agreement. But when they go to the wages board, which was the unknown angel, those that believed that all the workers' problems would be solved suddenly started talking about a new formula. What will be the duration of this agreement? Will the wages be sufficient for their living expenses? The political leaders do not seem to understand the seriousness of earning a living wage. It's tragic how that once again it is the workers who will suffer. The political leaders now say that the previous collective agreements were good because they included many other benefits apart from the wage itself. But can't they see the results of the collective agreements, that they did not bring the desired results? Are they so blind that they cannot see?
This, all that this community has left after 200 years of toil. Is this what is being celebrated by the political leadership? Is this what the political leaders call facilities? A survey in 2020 that examined the cost of living determined that the wage back then should have been 2,280 rupees. In that case, what should the wage be today in 2024? Those who toil have every right to ask for a wage that matches their daily labor. Those who make decisions while sitting in air-conditioned rooms in Colombo around round tables should walk around the plantations and see for themselves the parched lives of those who toil through sun and rain, braving everything from leeches to leopards. We ask the people what they believe is a fair wage should be in comparison to the cost of living.
சரி சம்பளம் உழுவணும். 3000க்கு மேல சம்பளம் விழுந்தா கூட எங்களுக்கு பத்தாது. இப்ப இருக்க வருமானத்துக்கு எங்களுக்கு பத்தாது. 5000 சம்பளம் எடுத்தா கூட பத்தாது. இப்போ உள்ள பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு சாப்பாடுக்கு ஸ்கூலுக்கே 2000 3000 கேக்குறாங்க.
2500 சரி எங்களுக்கு கூட்டி கொடுங்க. எங்களுக்கு வருமானம் பத்தாது. விலைவாசி கூட.
நம்மளுக்கு கட்டாயம் 2000 படி வேணும். நீங்க ஏசி ரூம்ல உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு நீங்க சம்பளத்தை வாங்கிட்டு நீங்க இந்த சம்பளத்தை கூட்டுறேன்னு இன்னும் கூட்டி முடியல. 3000 ரூபாய் கொடுத்தா கூட எங்களுக்கு இப்போதைக்கு பத்தாது. யாருமே வந்து ஓட்டு கேட்க இங்க வந்துடுறாங்க.
கரண்ட் பில் மட்டும் நாங்க கட்டியிருக்கோம். இந்த மாசம் மட்டும் 8000 ரூபாய் கரண்ட் பில் கட்டியிருக்கோம். 5000 ரூபாய் சம்பளம் கொடுத்தா தான் எங்களுக்கு போதிய அளவு. அரசாங்க உத்தியோகர்கள் எடுத்துக்கிட்டாலும் ஒரு நாள் ரோட்ல இறங்கி நின்றா கூட அவங்களுக்கு சம்பளத்தை கூட்டி கொடுத்துறாங்க. ஆனா எங்களுக்கு அப்படி
35,000 இருந்தா கூட எங்களுக்கு மாசம் சமாளிக்க முடியாத நிலைமையில
5000 ரூபாய் 10,000 கூட எங்களுக்கு இந்த நிலைமைக்கு பத்தவே பத்தாது. போஞ்சில இருந்து மரங்கள் எல்லா விலையுமே கூட தான்.
Justice for plantation workers. Old story, new story, same story.
The Jala Jana rally, organized to evoke blessings on the country and her people, reached Mathura this morning.
Jala Jana Rally. The Jala Jana Rally is organized to invoke blessings on the country and her people
with water obtained from valleys and rivers. Commencing from Hambantota, the Jala Jana rally reached Matara on day 11. Water was obtained from the Nilwala river and blessings were obtained from the Matara Botri in the midst of public cheer. The special platform carrying the water vessels then reached the Sri Bodhiraja Ramaya in Ambilipitia, where blessings were obtained. Water was obtained from the Chandrika River and the Udavalava Reservoir. The Jala Jana rally will proceed to Kegol and Kurunagala tomorrow. Jala Jana Rally.
And with that, we wrap up Primetime News for tonight.
For all these stories and much more, you can visit our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you for watching. Good night.